And we got an action-packed show as we conclude this week with some really good news. The Knicks go 3-0 as they continue this run. How long will this high streak last? But this team has proven that they are more than capable against teams that are bottom 500. Big time salute to all of the entire Knicks staff for holding it down and doing what they have to do on this recent stretch, turning things around. And they are on a playoff push trying to catch the Boston Celtics as well. We'll also talk about Big Bodega Cat. What is the reason behind his turnaround? You know, a lot of people are very, very critical of Karl-Anthony Towns. And it seems like he's beginning to hit his stride. So we're going to talk about that in more detail. Of course, Matt Barnes has some interesting comments to say, and I'm just sick of the narratives that they try to place on captives. So we will discuss that today, as well as Mitchell Robinson. He has some strong words, and we will get down to the bottom of whether or not his strong words can also be a key contributor to the Knicks turning it around. We'll also talk about, word of the street and much more on This Week Inside the Knicks. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the Objective Fan. And I'm straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. Man, you know the vibes. Tell a friend that we live, man. Big time salute and welcome to the show. All right. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day and a great week. This week inside the Knicks has returned. Big time salute to everybody in the building. I see Crim's Dad. I see AP on the way in. Smash that like button. All right, we still cooking with hot grease around here. Hopefully you guys are having a powerful day. I really do appreciate you guys and all of your support. So the best way to support the show still is to smash that like button. All right. New York City salute to everybody. And hopefully you guys are having a phenomenal day. So smash that like button. Of course, subscribe while you're at it, because we know that well over 50% of you guys are not subscribed, all right, in the last 28 days. So help us close the gap. Smash that subscribe button. We know you watch. You might as well make it official today, okay? Now, big time salute to everybody as you guys enter this show. Couple of announcements. I will be doing another show right after this. Pardon my tardiness. I had a very important meeting that was on, and I ran over time. And I thought I'd change the time of the show, but I didn't. Oh well, we're here now. So right after this show, we will be doing another show, and I will be talking about Boston. Hello, Boston. Hopefully, y'all didn't fall for the gaffle and drinking all that Kool-Aid and thinking that everything is sweet. All right, we're gonna talk about that next after this. But tomorrow we'll be back with the blue and orange brunch as well. All right, be on the lookout for that. And some other, I do have to do another Mikal Bridges show because I don't want my exhibits to get old. So I'm gonna try to sneak in another Mikal show, probably on Wednesday. I'm gonna see, because we got some more things to talk about Mikal, and of course I'm not just piggybacking off of him shooting better. But, there's some interesting things going on with Mikal, and I got another angle that I like to explore. So be on the lookout for that. As far as this week is concerned, this week, I would consider this week to be a pretty successful week. The Knicks, we went 3-0. Okay, we beat the Pacers. We beat the Nets. We beat the Wizards. I mean, now, we know that's not the best competition. But we got to take it. It's a part of the schedule. But I will say I told you so, because I told you that we will rebound. Okay. I told you that we will go on a run. And every time I claim that we will go on a run, I've been correct this year. So, it is what it is. I do, want my flowers. I'm trying to get my soundboard right as well. But because I don't know what's going on with it. But yeah, I just want my flowers and my I told you so. That's all I want. All right. So I don't know why my soundboard does not work with this profile. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway, I'm gonna jump into research mode. Bam. So as we get inside research mode, we're gonna be reading. Of course, this podcast is also dedicated to a blog called This Week Inside the Knicks. Now, the website will be coming back. Okay. I'm thinking about reinstituting it right before the postseason. So you guys definitely can go check that out. And I just wanted to make some changes in the direction and really see which way I wanted to go. But nonetheless, right now we're on my Substack. So if you want to read this article, all you have to do is go to Substack, all right? And you will be able to catch this episode. So this is episode 20, all right, of this season of This Week Inside the Knicks. So all you have to do is go here and you'll be able to find it. So this is where we are. So I'm going to start off with some of the special highlights. Now, the Knicks have just launched a campaign, a thank you to the NYPD campaign, okay? And pretty much it's a campaign to try to shine light on New York City's finest and do something nice for New York City's finest, all right? And so Dolan, the chairman of and CEO of MSG Entertainment, and he is the one who launched this initiative, right? And it's to encourage New Yorkers to boost the officers' spirits, okay? They're in close contact every day with them, and so they wanted to do something special for the NYPD. I think there's a concert or something like that. Yeah, the concert. Yeah, right. So this is what it is. It's a concert, and they're going to have all types of Grammy award-winning artists, right? Rap with Fat Joe, right? All different types of artists, comedians. So this is going to be a nice event. So, salute to them for getting this done for all the people and, taking care of New York City's finest. So that's my first special highlight. My second special highlight is Tyler Kolick. He did something pretty crazy. And well, I can't show the screenshot there, but he pretty much had 14 points. Yeah, 42 points in the G League game. The same day, he goes and puts up 11 in a professional game. And I said something inside of the Knicks Tape Madness Discord, sir. I said, yo, this is the effect of the G League on these players, because think about it. If you go to the G League and you're dropping 30, your confidence is like this. So instantly he gets into the NBA game and it's like he just picked off where he left off at. And I, big time salute to my man Tyler Kolick. I'm happy to see that. And the power of the G League, man. I mean, them instituting this league to me was a major success because it gave a lot of guys opportunities to make the league in a time period where only very few made it. I think at the time, what was it, like 300 people make it to the NBA or 400 people make it to the NBA? But now with the G League and the international game, there's a lot of opportunities for guys to make a living in the NBA. But I think the G League is doing a phenomenal job of picking these guys up and giving them the opportunity to shine. All right. So big time salute to everybody in the building. As you enter the building, continue to smash that like button. All right. I do appreciate the support. And big time salute to you as you enter. Right. And we know most of you guys are not subscribed. So make sure you guys are smashing that subscribe button. This is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 20. And we're talking about all the hot topics that took place between March the 16th to the 20th. Okay. All right. Just making sure we good on the back end over here. Back to the side view. Bam. Okay, So where else do I want to go? Okay. There's a lot of stories for the week, and I'll go through that during the rundown. But there's a couple of articles that I got to talk about, and then we will get into this Karl-Anthony Towns news. Big time. First of all, big time salute to Bodega Cat. And, I know his father was going through some things. Hopefully, his father's doing well as well. But big time salute to Bodega Cat. Do appreciate him and what he's doing right now, putting in a lot of work. In the meantime, I'm also trying to see, I'm testing the soundboard because my soundboard is like my powers. So it is what it is. No soundboard. We good. I have it right for the next show. That I do know. Anyway, so I'm going to start here. Matt Barnes. Okay. Now, Matt Barnes, he explains why the Knicks can't win the title with Jalen Brunson as their best player. Now, I'm not saying that he's wrong for having that opinion. I just think that everybody's premise is wrong. The premise of the argument is flawed. Not the argument itself, because it's a very, very tall feat for a point guard or any guard, not just a point guard, for any guard to be able to, become the MVP or be the best player on the championship team, because it's usually a big man thing. But my issue, and this is what I am attacking, is the height bias. I don't like the consistent height bias that takes place in sports. Now Jalen Brunson, he can't be the lead guy because of his height. Anyway, Knicks are about to surpass what they achieved last year and make a run for the NBA Finals this season. Oh, speaking of that, right? This is the reason why I think that the Knicks argument, the argument that people made where they want to say last year is better than this year, this is why I always felt like it was premature. Because one, you got to give this Knicks team time to see what they're going to do. A lot of people started off the year like, oh, yeah, last year was better than this year. But when you really think about it, you could have even just looked at the Cup champ. Now, I know the Cup championship isn't everything. I might make it the end all be all. Okay, relax. But I am saying we didn't win the Cup championship. That's something that we didn't do last year. I mean, it's not the end all be all, but I'm just saying, just for all the people last year, this year, people. Now, a lot of y'all are like, oh, well, this year's team is better. Well, give yourself an opportunity to do something big, right? And I feel like a lot of times, we don't do that. I feel like a lot of times we're so hell-bent on the moment stuff that, we're not looking at the big picture, or we're not allowing time for the big picture to manifest, so to speak, okay? Now, okay, the Knicks looking to surpass what they did last year, okay? NBA Finals this season, hoping that to end their championship drought. But so far this season, doubts their chances have mounted, okay? And some fans and pundits claiming their key problem is Jalen Brunson being the leader, okay? Now, Jalen Brunson being the leader, okay. On All the Smoke, former NBA journeyman Matt Barnes argued that Brunson's size possesses a disadvantage to the Knicks. He believes that their Eastern Conference and Western Conference rivals led by tall, athletic superstars, the Knicks' road to the promised land will be difficult, okay? This is what his exact comments was. I love Brunson, but I feel like in this era, your point guard can't be your best player if it's a small guard. Now, what I want to know is, what are we using to judge that? What are we using to judge that? Okay? What are you using? SGA just won the championship. Big time salute to SGA. I'm not a player hater. I am a player appreciator. But before SGA, can you give me the other big point guard? Keyword. Big point guard that has won the championship. Okay? I want to know that. Now, if he would have said, usually big men are the one who leads the team to the championship. If you look in the last X amount of years, they've all been forward and big men, right? Small forwards, power forwards, big men, they are the ones usually in charge of winning championships as being the head guy. Okay, no argument from me. I would just say, okay, that's a great point. That's why Towns is important. But will Towns live up to that hype? I don't know. I don't know. When your best player is that small, it's hard to win the championship. Okay. Now, a common argument about Brunson standing at 6'2", averaging 26.3 points per game. First of all, I would like to know how many guys at 6'2" are averaging 26.3 points. Because if you don't have a handful, then that would mean that this brother is special. Wouldn't that mean that? Puts him at 9th in the league. All right? What other small guard is doing that? Is Steph Curry in the top? Steph might be in the top. But Steph is another example of greatness at that height, at that position. All right? So this is a good read if you want to check out the rest of it. But I just want to kick it off by saying this. You don't have a plethora of big point guards winning the championship over small point guards. Who are the examples of the big point guard? Because Chauncey Billups, Tony Parker, those are not big point guards. Even if you want to use the two guard argument, okay, how many two guards win the championship being the best player? Don't give me Kawhi Leonard and Paul Pierce. Those are small forwards. I keep telling you, forwards and big men usually are the ones to bring home the championship. Going back to the 80s, 70s, if you just look at the majority of those guys, they were all big players. So if you're going to use the hype bias, at least use it right, okay? At least use it right. Don't use it just to prove your point. That's what I'm arguing with Mr. Matt Barnes here on this point. But I'm just waiting for the plethora of big point guards, because when you look at SGA and you look at Magic Johnson, those are the only two big point guards that one. Don't give me LeBron as a point guard. Don't give me none of that nonsense. He's a forward. All right? By the way, if you are watching this show, if you do want to contribute and you want me to respond to your message and make it part of the show, you could always send in a super chat or a cash app. All right. And I do appreciate it. Next show, I'm a salute to all the MVP donors. I see my man Tugboat Taylor in the building. He's definitely one of the MVP donors. All right. Big time salute to everybody in the building. Continue to smash that like button. Thank you to the brother who just put that comment in the chat. Thank you. He said last big PG was Magic. No, I'll add SGA as a big point guard. I give you SGA. SGA, Magic are the big point guards. It seems like in this generation, what we like to do is you see it happen one time and now you make it like it's a thing. Okay. Luka's the only other big point guard that could even win a chip. There is no other example of a big point guard in today's game that could win the championship. But I could think of a lot of small guards, point guards, that are dominant guards in the league. Besides SGA and Luka, all the rest of the point guards are big guards. Now, you got guys like Jalen Johnson, who's really a forward playing point guard. He's not really a point guard. You got a lot of forwards who bring up the ball, but the best guards are the smaller guards, if you ask me, besides SGA and Luka. If you want to look at Maxey, you want to look at Steph, you want to look at, but then they're going to say, no, Maxey is actually big. I don't know, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. I see somebody say Luka's a small forward. Only reason why I give Luka the pass at the PG is because he came in the league doing that. Like from day one, he was doing that. All right. And either way, I don't like the argument about the height bias amongst guards. Like there's this plethora of big guards who won championships. I just think it's ridiculous at this point. Just say that you don't think Jalen Brunson is that good. I would respect that a lot more than you trying to create these false standards. Okay. And if you just joined the show, I'm gonna get to Cat. I didn't talk about Cat yet. There's a couple of topics I'm gonna talk about before I get to Cat. And this one here, Mitchell Robinson. First off, I wanna my sound. I'm been troubleshooting my soundboard as I'm doing the show. I'm kind of multitasking right now. I'm like my own engineer, and it's not working. I don't know what's going on. I feel bad. I need my soundboard, man. I don't know. But anyway, Mitchell Robinson, he called out the Knicks after the Brooklyn Net game. Now, a lot of interesting things happened after that Net game, and I'm gonna go through some of it during the rundown. But that Net game was disappointing because I think we just overlooked Brooklyn. The players, the fans, the media, everybody, We were a minus 18 and a half. Minus 18 and a half going into that game. That's a very huge favorite. Against a team who you beat, 13 times in a row or something crazy like that? The longest standing, no, I think it was 14 times. Anyway, the longest deficit in terms of a team dominating another team right now in the league. So, for me, this is basketball. We've seen the Nets come back from 23 points down against the Detroit Pistons. And so, like, somebody put it in a Discord server. Oh, could the Nets or the Pacers, the Nets or the Wizards win the NCAA tournament? I said, hell yeah. They would be the best team in the nation. Them young bulls can play. Don't let the team record get it you food and think that those young guys can't play, because I watch them. They don't give a damn about a tank. That's why they manage their minutes. Look at the Wizards bench, right? Clearly, Hardy. Who else came off the bench? Not Cooper. The Gill kid. I don't want to say Gill is the best player, but clearly their best player, Hardy, should be starting. They brought him off the bench for a reason. You see how he got busy. He should be starting, realistically. But that's what you do when you're trying to tank. But Mitchell Robinson, he delivered a blunt message following the Knicks' 93-92 victory over the Nets. He called out his team and addressed the growing issue, the slow starts. Okay? Now, this was, of course, before the Washington game. The trend has become increasingly concerning. Over the last 10 games, New York has posted a minus 17.9 net rating in first quarters while allowing 120.7 points per 100%. I swear, guys, I'm starting to hate the advanced stat, because it's like, why do we use the per 100%? I'm starting to hate that stat. I really am. Why do we use it? I feel like it's a manipulation tactic to try to make something seem worse than what it is. I don't know. And net rating is another thing that I feel like is it can be used out of context sometimes. It's a powerful stat. I like it, but it's just, I just wouldn't personally use it for certain things. Anyway, nonetheless. But yes, the first quarters we know. Let me show you how I do it. All right, I got you. Let me show you how I would tell you the first quarters is. I'm going to go to the 82 Nights Club, right? And I'm going to tell you exactly how I would share with you the first quarters are bad. I think that this is a better way to do it. And it's a way that keeps the casual fan or the fan who doesn't know as much about stats engaged in the conversation. So this is what I would say to y'all, just to give you an example of why I can't stand advanced stats sometimes, right? Especially where people try to act like they know about basketball and they just, regurgitating something they got from somewhere. So here's what I would tell you. So in the last 8 first quarters, the Knicks have been trailing going into the second quarter 6 times out of those 8 games. See how simple that is? I don't got to do the 100 possession per and this net rating that. No, we've been getting our butts whooped in the last 6 out of 8 first quarters. Anytime we win the first quarter, our record is 26-6. When we lose the first quarter, we are playing 500 basketball, 19-19. You see how simple that was? Anyway, all right, back to the article. Sorry. Okay, the Nets brought the fight to us. This is what Mitch said. They came out. They wanted to prove a point, obviously, so our approach has to be better. Robinson called out the Knicks mindset, and this is very important. A lot of us kind of speculated on this as well. He said, we can't just look at their record and say, all right, we're going to whoop their asses. All right, we got to be better all together. And until we figure that part out, it's going to be a long road. That's fire. That is the energy you need in a win. See, that is a championship mentality. I am not going to lie. The closer we get to the playoffs, the more stronger I feel that this team has a chance to win the championship. Big time salute to my man Khalil in the building. By the way, big time salute to you, Khalil. I do appreciate that super nice Cash App you sent yesterday. Big time salute to you. Hopefully you're having a great, powerful day. And to all the other people that's in the building, big time salute to you, all right? Now, this is the mentality that we need to have to win a championship. They are taking teams too late. I truly believe, like, if you look at your stretch of games, and by the way, I told you so, because I told you we were going to go on a run. I told you that. I said, look, y'all tripping off the LA matchup, but I'm looking at Utah, food. Indiana twice, food. Golden State, food. No Steph Curry. Brooklyn, food. Washington, food. That's easy work. We're going to win those games 100%. And the problem with fans is y'all so caught up in what happened in Los Angeles that y'all not thinking about the rest of the season. Y'all making Los Angeles the representation for what's to be going forward throughout the whole year. Los Angeles was one moment or 2 moments, 2 games, but it didn't symbolize the run that this team was about to go on. And when you look at it, you could say in your last 8 games, you're 6 out of 8. And the model, you're only as good as your last game, is another fair statement here. You know, but don't get lost in that one game representing the entire momentum and trajectory of this Knicks team, because they will continue to prove you wrong. But what do you guys think about Mitch? I thought that this was fire. We never got the chance to talk about this on none of the shows, but you know, we played them how many times this year? 3 or 4. This is probably the most physical they got with us. So we can't just take their record and say this is an easy one. And I think that's what they be doing. They may not say it, but that's how they play. New Orleans Pelicans, I've just started my scouting on them. So I got to watch a couple of condensed games. From what I did see, they had some impressive performances, though they still been losing games. And this is not going to be as easy as you think it is. I'm just letting y'all know. The Pelicans might be that team to get you if you're not on your A game and you have that same mentality. So I'm hoping that we allow that to go. You feel me? But our approach and shoot around, the way we come to the game, we've got to be ready to go. And that's what they did against the Washington Wizards. Against the Wizards, I felt like the energy was there from the start. And honestly, and I'm going to talk more about this on the next show. We're going live right after this, by the way. We're going to be talking about, you know, the Knicks and their, you know, the game against Wizards and the race and all of that. But Josh Hart, man, that dude's energy is just different. He's looking like playoff Hart. I love it. And he's just performing despite being injured and going through so much physically. I love what I've seen from them and Josh Hart, especially the last game. But that's all about this, Mitch. I'm gonna do the run now, and then we're gonna keep it pushing. All right. So Jalen Brunson consistently has been used as the scapegoat as to why my client Mikal Bridges was traded to New York. I just think that that's just complete asinine thoughts. The Knicks, Jalen Brunson could miss the Pacers clash, and he did. What NBA expansion could mean for the Knicks? Okay. Jose Alvarado, all right. He did a special PNT interview where he talked about how he came up in his upbringing. Okay. Knicks get some encouraging news on Miles McBride, even though we talked about that. Big time salute to my man Deuce McBride. I'm gonna give a quick Knicks take with here. The issue with Deuce is not him recovering from his procedure. He's fully recovered from the procedure. What they're working on with him is for him to get his burst and his explosion. That is the question mark. So he's good. He's going to be good to go. The issue is, will he have the power? Because his core muscle, sports hernia, was compromised, right? So will he be able to develop that before the postseason begins? Okay, we did content on that. Go back and check that out. Let's see. Josh Hart had a big night when he scored 30 plus points and shot 90% from the field. That's something that only 3 Knicks did in the history of the Knicks. I think it was 3 other Knicks. It was Bernard King, Willis Reed, and Walt Bellamy. Okay, big time salute to Josh Hart for that. Jose Alvarado, he starred in his first starting role with the New York Knicks at MSG. All right. Let's see. Towns, we're going to talk about him in a second, but his comfortability has grown playing center for these New York Knicks. Jose Alvarado chose Christ the King as his reference during his intro at the first start at MSG. Big time salute to Christ the King. All right. Of course, Josh Hart, he's dealing with that syndrome he has with his knee, and he missed the Brooklyn Nets game. No excuse, though. I don't give a damn that he wasn't there. You should have ran through these guys. What else I want to say? Talked about Matt Barnes. All right, Jalen Brunson made his return to the lineup after a short exit from the rotation. Just one game. Okay. And what else? The Knicks shot the lights out and cruised to their 6th win of the season against the Washington Wizards. And the Wizards have 16 losses in a row. Yikes. And Josh Hart marks the reporter for talking about his feat of making 9 threes in a row and says, what? You must think I suck, huh? If you were to highlight 9 jump shots from 3 in a row. Okay, that's the Knicks rundown. All right, continue to smash that like button as you guys enter the show. This is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 20. Damn, time flies. Episode 20 of the 25-26 season. And we talking about a lot. We're talking about a lot. Somebody said the Pelicans is trash. Okay. We'll see. Big time salute to everybody in the building. Continue to smash that like button, though. All right, we got to get the likes up. It's very important to the algorithm that they know that we got 2 shows in the evening time. All right, and I might have to, let's see where we are on time. I may have to push back that other show just a couple of minutes, just so we won't overlap. So I might push back the other show a couple of minutes, all right? So as soon as we get off from here, I'm going to start that other show like within minutes right after this. Okay, and that other show is going to be the Karl-Anthony. No, the Karl-Anthony. See how I'm getting confused? It's too many shows in a short stint. It's going to be the video talking about Boston and the playoff race. So that's going to be next after this. I'm actually pushing that video back. Continue to smash that like button. And while you at it, subscribe, because we know well over 60+% of you guys are not subscribed. So help us close the gap and subscribe now. So that way you'll catch all the shows. We go live twice a day and you won't miss out. And we got some very interesting shows. I'm working on some debates. By the way, to the Bronzeville Spurs fan, if you are listening, I'm gonna reach out to you because I want to schedule that debate with you, Bronzeville Spurs. All right, I want to get some more debates going. You feel me? Also, before I get to this cat topic, I do have to let you guys know that Game Night, the latest addition to the 82 Night series, is out now and it's on sale. But look, let me ask you something. How many playoff moments have we lived through that we wish we wrote down? That's why I made Game Night, the playoff edition. It's a fan journal built for the postseason. Bracket trackers, series previews, game night memories, reflections, everything. It's a way to experience the playoffs on a whole different level. If you are interested, the link is in the description and on the screen. Linktree/TheObjectiveFan. Go order yours now. It will be available for a limited time, okay? And we're talking a couple of days, actually. And we also have free shipping, so you don't have to pay for shipping. It's on sale, and it arrives to your house right before the playoffs begin. So why delay and wait? Go place your order. Game Night, all right, the playoff edition. So you can expand your basketball knowledge beyond the horizon. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys inside of the 82 Nights Club. Big time salute to everybody who got their pre-orders. By the way, I see Boston's in the house. Listen, you guys could order the journals too. This is not a New York journal. All right. So just because you're in Boston doesn't mean you can't order it. In fact, a lot of the people who do place orders are out of town people, believe it or not. Anyway, so let me jump back into research mode. There's something that I want to address with Karl-Anthony Towns. He has a lot going on. First off, I guess I'll start with his father, right? I think his father and the conversation that he said, because he was going to miss the game, but his father told him to go play. All right. And don't tell me the article. Oh my goodness, hold on. Don't tell me I don't got the article. How don't I have the hold up? Hey, this one is good. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I gotta get that article. Anyway, his father, told him to play. He was going to miss the game. And he decided to play. And boy, did he. And it turned out the crazy part about that was it turned out we kind of needed him. Like I was saying during the pregame show, I was like, man, we don't need Towns, because, it's the Nets, right? But boy, imagine if we didn't have Towns and we lost. Could you imagine how bad that would be? Man, so, I don't know what's going on with that situation, but big time salute to, Towns, stepping up to the plate. Hold on, I just want to read some of these quotes here. Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on. Honestly, that's my biggest pet peeve is like when a link doesn't work or I can't find a link, it just drives me crazy. So here's what Towns had to say. He said, I wasn't going to play. My pops was adamant that he wanted me to play, said Towns, who was listed as questionable for personal reasons before tip-off. I did peep that. And I was like, I hope the brother's okay. We don't want to see nobody on the injury report, but we don't want to see personal reasons because usually it's not good, right? So I said I would. So I showed up for the game to play. I'm going to head back out to him again for the road to recovery. First off, big time salute. That's some powerful stuff right there. And sometimes our family can impact us in a way to get us to push forward and get the best out. But as much as I would like to put this on his father, I think that there's been some things happening even before that. Now, I don't know what's going on with his father, and this could have been going on for the longest, but I feel like the transformation of Towns have taken place before this. You could say post All-Star break. You could say right before the All-Star break. It's your opinion, and whatever you say definitely is valid. But I'm going to say this. Big Bodega Cat has done some things on the court. Now, the off-the-court stuff may be there, but he has done some things on the court that I think that has helped him and his development, so to speak. So here's one of the things that he has done. 2 seconds. Should be here. I'm not seeing it. Here's some of the things that he has done. Well, here's one of the things that he has done. It's a couple. Right? And one of them should be obvious. And I'm gonna see how obvious it is if you guys can guess where I'm going. So this is one thing that I've been holding on to for a while now. I just didn't get a chance to touch on it. But Towns is passing way more on drives. Way more. Okay. Now you guys know sometimes, especially last season, it felt like we wanted to just like pass out, or not pass out, but rather we just wanted to just put our head down when he would drive the ball. Put our head down like, yo, it's an accident waiting to happen. Like it's a train wreck. He is more smart, more deliberate on his drives, and passing way more. Listen to this. Now, this article came out when early March 3rd. Okay. So I'm gonna go through some of the things it's saying here. Okay. All right. Prior to the All-Star break, Towns was passing on 16.8% of his drives, racking up an assist of 4% of the time. Among 92 players finishing as many downhill attacks per game, these pass out and assists ranked as 90th. All right. The tables have turned, or perhaps more aptly, the ball has sprayed in different directions since the Knicks came out of the All-Star break. Over the past 6 games, Towns has basically doubled the passing marks that I talked about here. The 16.8 is now 33.8% on drives, and notching an assist 9.5% of the time. All right. Now, the pass out rate isn't exceptionally high relative to the masses. It ranks 53rd out of 88, averaging as many drives per post All-Star break, but it still qualifies as a major improvement. Plus, Towns' 9.5 assist rate clocks in at even more of an impressive 38th overall. So his passing is up out of the drive. When you look at his career, okay, and this is like he's competing against himself. Look at his full season pass out rate prior 7 years, right? Last year, you see that right there? 11.85%. Now, I kept track of the updated number. The 33% is now 25%. So he's still, even though it's dropped, he's still passing the ball more. What happens when you pass the ball more out of drives? What does it do? It keeps the defense honest. Now, instead of loading up on you, that help side defender is reluctant because they don't want to get burnt on the pass. Towns has been a more diverse offensive weapon since the All-Star break. He's passing more out of drives. I got another one for you, right? We know that Karl-Anthony Towns leads the league in fouls. He's one of the league. He's like maybe 4th or 3rd overall. I think he averages 3.5 fouls a game. That puts him at like 3rd, 4th overall. but he leads the league in offensive fouls. In fact, he's like a plus 26 or plus 25 over the second place person with 36. I don't remember who that is. I just remember the numbers. Towns has 61 offensive fouls, 15 charges, okay, over the season. So we know that his recklessness on the offensive foul side of the game takes him out of a lot of games. But I'm here to tell you, in the last 6 games, Towns has only had one charge. One charge in the last 6 games and only 3 offensive fouls. He's basically averaging an offensive foul, just under an offensive foul a game. So now he's down to 0.5 offensive fouls. He is playing more with more control. Now, I can't say that he's arguing less with the refs because of that, but you could argue that his conversation with the refs are a little less. I mean, he still does it. He did it last night, but it's not as pronounced because he's playing with control. He's doing his part to avoid getting fouls. In fact, this is what I want to show you guys. I'm going to go a step further, a little bit deeper, because this is what I do on this channel. All right. Like that video, I cook. All right. I give you multiple different angles. I could be using just one stat and I could give you like 4 different angles from that one stat. And that's what I'm about to do right now. So we're going to go to the game logs and we're going to look in real time just to show you what he's doing in real time. So during the 6-game winning streak, this brother has not fouled over 5 times. Okay? Why is that important? Anytime Towns gets 5 fouls or more, when we last checked it, our record is 4-12. Yeah, it's bad. He directly contributes to us losing by just him fouling. There's somewhat of a correlation. It's not a complete exact science. But look, in the last 5 games, because he only played 5 out of the last 6, he has only fouled the most fouls he's gotten in the game was 4 against Brooklyn. That's it. He's playing within himself. So I can't say he's driving the ball less, but he's passing the ball out of drives. He's drawing less offensive fouls. He's not charging into defenders. And he's just not fouling as much as he normally does. He's playing with control. But if you look at the last 6 victories, no 5 fouls. You look at the last 2 losses, in one of the games, he had 6 fouls. In the other game, he had 4 fouls. And you could take this all the way up. Look at Denver, 4 fouls in the win. OKC, 6 fouls, we lose. You could go all the way up with this if you want. And you're going to notice a lot of correlations with Towns because he's such a key factor to the team. Whether he's the first option or not, he is one of the more integral parts into the system. So he's working on his fouls as well. Another thing I want to talk about is the 2-man game with him and Brunson. I would say since the All-Star break, they've been running a lot more actions together. I still don't think it's enough. But we have been noticing more success when Towns is dominant. And what do I mean by that? Hold on, I'm going to tell you. Hopefully I didn't close this out. I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. So, salute to all the channel members. Y'all know about the one stat that I said that concerns me with Towns, and no, it wasn't fouls, right? It's something else that you wouldn't even think about. But I'm going to go in the reverse from that. And what I want to go to is Towns, his success is more so greatly impacting the team winning. In the last 5 out of 6 games, the 5 games he played, he's notched over the 20-point mark 3 out of the 5 times. No, I'm sorry. No, hold on. I'm bugging. against Washington. Did he have 20? Okay, because I wasn't factoring in the Washington game. My bad. So in the last 5 games that he's played, which resulted in wins, he had 20 or more 4 out of the 5 times. So him being the focal point of the off, we finally got it to a point where we're not forcing it to him, and he's getting his numbers while impacting the team, winning the game. That is a very, very powerful place to be in for a team that has had to do so much persevering despite their others' poor performances to win games. But now we see that Towns can impact winning, being that number 1, number 2 guy. And that to me is a major feat. And that is because Brunson has become a passing point guard. He's become a passing, scoring point guard. If you look at Jalen Brunson since the All-Star break, he's averaging way more assists. In the last, if you want to go back 10 games, 9 out of the 10 he's played, Jalen Brunson has had well over 7 assists a game. All right? He's been hitting that mark consistently. 8 assists. All right? The last game, I don't think he hit that mark. Hold on, let me pull it up. I don't think he hit that mark in the last game. I think Jalen had like 4 assists the last game, but it don't matter. So even if you go back before that game, you know, Jalen Brunson, 8 assists, 9 assists, 9 assists, 8 assists, 8 assists, 7 assists. So he's making it initiative, and he's passing the ball to Towns. It was one of the games, 5 of his assists went to Towns. Now, it's going to be hard for Jalen Brunson to get assists to Towns because Towns is a creator. I think well over 52%, like around 52% of shots, Towns shots are assisted upon, meaning that there's a whole 48% of his shots that are unassisted. So that means that he's going, so you passing him the ball is not leading to an assist because he's creating action after the pass. Towns is not just a one dribble kind of guy. The only time you could really get an assist on Towns is if he's shooting the 3. That's it. But he's been shooting the 3 a little bit less in recent moments in time. But the 2-man game has been a lot better. All right. Another thing I want to share is post-ups. How many of you guys were on the last show? You guys remember we talked about Karl-Anthony Towns post-ups, right? They was trying to say he doesn't post up enough. He's averaging about 1 point. Hold on, let me get it on the screen. I don't remember off the top of the head. And my handwriting is trash. I'm going to pull it up. So we're going to go to NBA.com. How many of you guys remember the post-up show? Because we did a show over the weekend where they try to say Towns doesn't, where Josh Minot said that Towns doesn't like physicality. I'm like, how is that true? This brother is beat up every night on drives. There's not a night where Towns doesn't drive the ball. And you guys, he averages about 7 drives a game. What are we talking about? I'm gonna pull it up for you really quickly because I don't remember. Let's go to general, and we go to no, not general. We want to go to play type. We're gonna go to post up. So to all the guys, y'all remember this, right? Y'all was there. All right. And do I have per game? So Towns gets about 2.2 post-ups per game. Do y'all see that? All right. This is for the entire season. I'm gonna segment this for hold on. Why can't I segment it? Hold on, give me 2 seconds. All right, let me try it this way. We'll go to tracking. This is a different way. And this is another angle. By the way, to those of you guys that was on that show, this is another angle that I didn't even think to go in because remember, once again, they used the per 100 prop. But look, if you just do regular post-ups, Towns averages 2.6 post-ups a game. He's one of he's like in the top 20 in post-ups. I could have just easily went his. You see, this is why I don't like the Pro 100. Anyway, all right, bet. So look, now we could filter it and we could do the post All-Star break. All right. Post All-Star break. Bam. We're going to do post-ups. Towns is getting 3 post-ups a game. He's upping his post-ups. All right. To almost 1 more post-up a game. And he's in the top 15 now. See that? So Towns is operating at the post more. I wouldn't say he's scoring more out the post, but he's operating more at the post. Okay? That is major because, one, you can draw fouls. It's another way to draw fouls. Okay? Which is something that he's also doing more of as well. But he's getting more post-ups per game. And if you add all of these elements together, this is why you're getting the Towns that you're getting. Brunson and Towns trying to play 2-man game. Brunson looking for him, right? The others looking for him. His synergy with Jose Alvarado. It's just a lot of different factors that's going into Karl-Anthony Towns changing. But the biggest change for me is the fouls. We got to continue to monitor the fouls. He has to continue to play under control, especially when we go up against better competition. Like OKC, when you know they're going to put him in screen and roll with Hartenstein, he has to continue to play smart because the last time we played against OKC, he fouled out. So I'm hoping that it's just not a competition thing. It's going to be something that sustains itself throughout the season, and we could continue going on this major run. Okay? All right? But that's my Towns take. Continue to smash that like button. All right? If you hadn't already, please do so. It's very important to the algorithm. HRM in the building. Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, channel member Mod. We got a showdown in the championship for the Knicks Tape Madness Cup Fantasy Basketball League. Big time salute to you. I do hope you know I'm going to cook you, HRM. All right? Your reign on the top is short like leprechauns. All right? Just to let you know, I'm coming for the throne, baby. All right? All right, so a couple of more things I want to get to. I had another good article. I'm going to save that. There's another article I wanted to get to that's fire, but damn, I just closed out the Substack. I'm going to get to that in another show. All right, I'm going to get to that in another show. Where were we? Name. No thanks. By the way, subscribe on Substack, man. It's very, very important, all right? Very, very important. Let me keep it going. Let me, hold on. So I was over here. Yeah, I was over here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get to the power rankings, okay? By the way, we going live right after this live, so make sure you guys are in the building, all right? Don't go away too far. 7:30, we will be back live, all right? So the Knicks, I didn't mean to skip like that, but OKC, San Antonio stayed at the top. Detroit kind of fell off. They went to 4, but they're back at 3. Boston, number 4. I think Boston will drop. But we're at the 5 spot right now. I think we will move up next week. By the way, this came out on the 18th, which is Wednesday. So I think that this Wednesday we beat the Pelicans. I think we get to the top 3, to be honest. Let me see who's at them. Yeah, I think we get to the top 3. I think they'll put us ahead of Detroit, even though Detroit hasn't really lost without Cade yet. But I foresee us being the top 3 team in the power. I didn't mean to skip like that. My bad. You can tell I'm trying to rush. All right, hold up. Let me get the word on the street, man. Word on the street. All right. Now, word on the street pretty much is just analyzing the polls that I asked, try to get a good grasp of how Knicks fans feel in the current moment in time. Okay, so this is where we are. I'm going to scroll down. Let me see. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. I guess I got a couple of that. Okay, I just got 2 that I did this. Okay, cool. So given Jose Alvarado's recent shooting struggles, should Tyler Kolek step up as Brunson's backup point guard? Now, this, of course, was before Jose kind of had a reboot in his system. I'm going to say no. And I always felt that way. No offense to Tyler Kolek. I think he's a phenomenal young scrapper. I just don't think that he's ready for what we need in the playoff run. And I think sticking with Tyler Kolek I'm sticking with Jose is going to be a major key going forward. 553 votes, 31% say no, 62% say yes, 7% say I don't know. Damn, y'all just ready to throw a man out after 1 or 2 games. Man, look at y'all, man. This is why I represent Mikal Bridges. I want the hard assignment. If the Knicks starters hadn't gotten injured in the 2024 season, would they have won the championship? I'm going to say I don't know. I don't know. But believe it or not, out of 509 votes, 52% of you guys said yes. Whoa, that's a huge percentage. 34% say no, and 14% say I don't know. The reason why I'm going to say I don't know is just too many damn factors that has to deal with winning a championship. And even if you get past the Pacers, how would you have done against the Celtics? You know, would Julius Randle fell apart? Would OG get hurt eventually? Like, it's just so much that goes into it that I don't even want to even think about it. I think the better question is, if the 2024 team is healthy and the 2026 team is healthy, which Knicks team do you think is a better team? You know, even though it's still a hypothetical, but it just is like, to me, that's a better hypothetical, right? But listen, big time salute to everybody in the building. Smash that like button. If you didn't, I will be back tonight. All right. Well, tonight in 15 minutes. So make sure you guys are here. I will be going live again. And this time you guys can call up. All right. So big time salute to everyone in the building. And until next time, as always, let's